Yeah! Hey, what the hell are you two doing?
Who is that in there?
Hey, it is so good to see you guys after the long hiatus. My apologies. It was all me. I was a combination of battling some depression, some busy with work, and returning back to the place formerly called America. And so it was a great thing. But we're back. Had to pull me out of my pseudo retirement for the pies and promotions, and SJ had let me know. Thank you. Big shout out to SJ, Simon, all the other people that were checking in on me, making sure that I was still alive and not deported. I'm still in America. They haven't found me yet. But also, SJ and Simon, they let me know of a match against Blackpool, and they said, if you don't watch any other one to get caught up, you have to watch this. They did not let me down. That was an amazing match. And I was in full gear that this weekend there happens to be no protests in Phoenix this weekend, so I didn't have anything to go to and support. And so I was able to watch this past match, and man, is that food for the soul. Whew. Oh my God, that was so good.
Two best matches of the season, by far.
I know, back to back, and it was, yeah.
And given the two that had preceded it, we needed it. So I'm glad that they pulled it out when they needed to, and and proved why they're going up.
Parky made some comment, God, I think it was him, about like letting the loose or letting the reins off or something. Handbrake off. There we go. Yeah. But I was like, I mean, if they play like this with the break off, why have you had the brake on?
For safety, SJ. For safety.
I mean,
you don't want just everybody willy-nilly, like, headers and volleys and tigers and bears. Like, you can't do that every single week, because then people have another reason to hate Wrexham because we're that good.
Yeah.
We are them.
Well, you wonder what he kept back, because we didn't see a short corner all year. And then we saw a short corner and bang, goal. So he'd obviously not shown his full hand. And, saved it for when it was needed and when it was going to count and when it was too late to react against it and to have to plan for it for next week. It doesn't matter if people know that we do that now, because we're going up again.
We are going up. We are going up.
It's the Parky criticism, which I'm Team Parky, so fuck those people.
Who is still criticizing Parky? Like, I feel like people are making that up now. They're like, and people are still criticizing Parky. I'm like, what are they, like Russian troll bots? Like, who's really criticizing Parky?
Well, I mean, when the Good Friday match, people were like, the internet blew up. Like, the match before that, people are like, we're going up. And then that happened, and they're like, pulling, oh my God, the world is ending. And
What was the Good Friday match? Tell, I missed some things.
It was very bad. It was not a good match. I'm glad you missed it. It was, who did we play?
If you were going to miss any match.
Bristol, right?
Bristol, what date? And, what was the date?
Good Friday. So
I don't know when that is.
Whatever, 19th, 18th of April?
So Blackpool was Monday, which is Easter Monday, so the Friday before that. And I don't know the numbers. I'm looking at it.
I'm a recovering Catholic.
And it was 1-1, and Bristol are shit, and they scored first. So we did not play well at all. We had a lot of the ball, but just didn't do a lot up front. And the worry was we'd done that pretty much against Wigan the week before. We're 0-0. So we hadn't actually scored for, again, 2 matches.
Damn.
And then we got one at the end, which may or may not have been a handball for Matty James to be able to control it and get it. But
was it? Or
it may have touched his hand, but it wasn't deliberate. It wasn't.
Depends what team you're on.
And it didn't advantage him unnecessarily that they'd given a free kick, or the ref didn't see it. So either way, it does not matter. But we didn't play well, was the whole crux of that, and we hadn't for 2 matches. And so if we had continued that against Blackpool, who hadn't lost in 6,
That was
it would
the
have been
fear.
it would have been tough. But the way things turned out, so the weekend was not a good weekend because we hadn't played well for 2 weeks. And
Damn.
we weren't showing a lot that we were going
So
to.
that,
And
that's like a lot of that Parky hate flared its ugly head. And then,
we had-
they're like, they acted like he was like, I mean, just go out there and tell them what you're going to do so we lose. Like, like.
We would had some illness go through the camp, and obviously, it's at the end of a long season, and so the players, for whatever reason, we weren't
Is
up
that
for it. But
one-
we also had the Bristol one. Parky wasn't there; he was in the stands.
Oh,
So
yeah,
he'd
because he
been
got a
banned.
match ban.
So
He got
Oh.
3 yellows. And
He does that. That last no.
like a good manager.
Wait, in League 2 and didn't he have to watch one from the stands? Like, this isn't his first outing of
no,
of a
that's
suspension.
from the stands. Yeah,
Yeah. I
And
do
so,
find it
yeah,
interesting. A manager get 3 yellows and you have to have instead of 5 is the match
Well,
ban.
managers aren't meant to get any yellows. You're meant to be
Yeah.
Well,
not so for a manager to get a yellow, you've done.
Yeah.
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 So,
He's supposed to be the one in control at the helm.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes as a driver, you got to swear at all the other drivers. I don't know. I noticed so was that the one that Owen O'Connell got hurt at, or was that Blackpool? Because I think that was part of it. Is people were like freaking out because he got hurt, and then they were like, "Who's gonna be?" And I was like, "Well, Scar can go in. That's fine."
It was the one beforehand. It was that.
Yeah,
but
so it was
that's
this
the-
whole the sky is falling, and
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
Scar's come in and played beautifully last
He's been
2.5
great.
matches. He may not have the run out of defence that O'Connell has, but Brunt has taken up that mantle. And he's looked really nice. He's made some dashing runs, a la Max, some dashing runs forward that's
A la
thrown
Max.
their defence
Instead of a la
into
mode.
disarray.
Alamax sounds like he's like extra tasty.
Yeah, it's the most you
to
could
the
do
max.
by ordering food individually. It's like, what's the best tapas you could get? Alamax. Alamax, food Alamax, yeah. Well, based off of the last 2 matches that I saw, being the Wrexham aficionado that I've become, Brunt did well. He did well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor got hurt in the Bristol match, and it looked worse. Even though we haven't seen him back, he has been back on the subs bench. We haven't seen him back on the field, but it looked like he did an ACL. And
I mean, that
we
seems
worried
like
that
what-
he may have been gone for months as well. But
That's kind of what
it may have
Parky
just been
does, though. If you lose your spot for any reason and the person comes in, does better than you got to wait to get back in the side.
Yep.
I am sad that Barney has been replaced by Longman.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
not
wait. So
saying-
I missed that. What happened to Barney? Because
Nothing.
is he hurt?
He's great.
Like,
No.
what happened?
Nothing.
He had a few games where he didn't quite perform. Longman's come in for him, performed really well. So Barney's now almost third choice of the.
So
of the
here's the
2.
thing, though. I'm not a Longman hater, but I don't notice him on the pitch. And when Barney's on the pitch, I'm like, oh, I was like, he's on fire. He's all over the place. And I don't know enough about the game to say Longman's not a good player because I don't know he's on the pitch. But I don't notice his activity on the pitch as much as and Barney has the most assists in the league. And he has, I don't know. Yeah.
But he'd
So
quietened down. He certainly had quietened down recently, and Longman is quick. He puts in some good runs that maybe Barney had stopped doing. Hence, he's Longman's starting and not him.
I did like it though. So Ray, and this is something you probably missed. McLean had a wobble injury-ish thing. I don't know. They were like, he's sat out for, he was on the bench, but he didn't start
the
for
Bristol match.
And so, so they had Barney on the right and Longman on the left.
And
then
Lee
Barney
not-
subbed out and Longman went to the right and then McLean came in on the left.
Yeah, and
So
that
it's
was
kind of
scored.
like Mendy can do both sides.
But that was that. Unfortunately, like we put for Bristol, that was part of the problem that everyone had been saying that we were too defensive. So they put on their most attacking side. Dobson out, Lee in for him, McLean out, Barney in for him, and we got hammered. We didn't go. We barely went forward, and we didn't actually do anything until Lee went off and McLean and Dobson came back on, and then we scored the goal.
And that was still Jay Rodriguez up front, Sam Smith up front?
Yeah, and Smith.
In those?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rodriguez isn't playing up. They're not the Mullen-Palmer duo. You got to go back more to the start of this year when it was Palmer and Lee. And that's what they're doing now. Smith in the Palmer role, Rodriguez in the Lee role, between midfield and forward. He's not up there.
So,
Smith is dropped.
It's actually more like a 5-3-1-1.
Yeah.
Instead of a 5-3-2.
He's the distraction.
Yeah, but also helping bridge the gap between mid and forward. And so he can hold the ball a bit, distribute a bit, and allow the wingers to come up a little bit more time for them to come up and help Smith. So, but we barely lost since Rodriguez has come in. So he's obviously doing something Parky likes.
And that formula must work because promotion.
On Simon, you were on the Down Under podcast. It was a good episode, and one thing that you said that really struck me is like because so many people have like trashed on Rodriguez. If Parky thought he was doing a bad job, he wouldn't put him in. And I thought that was a really good point you made because Parky suffers no fools. So if he keeps playing. Well, then I guess Parky approves and he's got a plan.
It's kind of like he got paid to do a job that none of the people commenting ever were offered money for their opinions.
I know. Isn't this his like 6th promotion? Or is it 7? It's like 6th or 7th promotion.
Something like that.
6 for Parky. Yeah.
Man.
Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. 6, and then he's like eyeballing this. Can we even go? I don't know. Can we even go there? Is that blasphemy to start talking about
we
next
haven't
season,
finished the
or
season
do we
yet?
just...
But there's all sorts of people talking about it.
Still one match to go, and in serendipitous fashion, it's Lincoln, who were the last club that Wrexham played before they went down to the National League.
Yeah.
And that's fancy.
Hopefully some of the players are still on the
day.
team. That'd be sweet.
Well, Rogers
it's not handball if you use your cane.
It's just elderly abuse at that point.
And again, Lincoln will be the last match we play before we go up, and it's a fancy dress day, so wear your fancy dress at home.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that? I heard that they're like, it's a fancy dress.
I don't know. It just means dress up.
The last
goofy.
away day. Your team's last away day is a fancy dress day.
Oh, okay.
I know there's a lot of the gals are planning on wearing Minnie Mouse ears. And then last year there was some people that wore the face cutouts of like Goofy and Donald.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fancy dress for the players. So do they show up in suits to the match, or like what happens?
The fans wear costumes.
The fans are supposed to dress up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Halloween, kind of like you dress up in costumes.
Oh, that's actually fun.
Yeah,
I thought it was like they were parading the players around in suits or something.
We would call
Minnie Mouse
I know
ears.
that's fancy, but we would call that black tie.
Yeah. Well,
fancy black tie, but fancy dress means costume.
See,
costume.
fancy is black tie in my world. If you're going somewhere fancy, it's like posh.
That's
adjacent.
fancy, but when you say fancy dress, specifically, it's costume.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean black.
Does it have to be a dress, or can it be pants?
When you say fancy
only
dress,
if there's
it
no
means
middle in the
like
pants.
You get dressed, even though you don't. You may well. That's up to you. But you get dressed. And so
but not a requirement. You could get undressed.
Yeah.
Fancy naked. You get to fancy anyway. We're moving on from that. We got promoted.
Fancy bareback day at Lincoln.
We're going up.
Oh God.
This is a family show.
I did love Parky's Did you see Steve Parkin's little gif?
No.
Oh yeah.
How he did the little salute last year.
Yeah.
You know, when he did that little funny salute. This time he's got the 3, turns it into the hand, and then salutes.
Nice. Nice.
Clever. That was touching nice.
Okay, that's good. I like that. I like that. So there's a question, and which can of worms should I open? So there were people that I didn't see.
Brainworms.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Go open that can.
let's get our health minister on this one. There was obviously players I didn't see in the match that I think are still on the team. Did we lose anybody over the last month or 2 months, or do we still have the players
Injury-wise, yeah.
Like
no one's been cut yet.
injury-wise,
Everyone's
or
still...
like transfer-y kind of situation? Because
transfer
nobody's
out
left
and sack
since the transfer window.
Okay.
Like James Jones left, and Forwardy, they left in the transfer window.
In transfer, but Mo Fole's been hurt recently.
Okay.
He did a thigh in training. I think that was it. Maybe one more injury, but yeah, that's the most.
And supposedly Tunnicliffe is still on contract until the summer. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about. They the contract is when they signed it, like when they filed the paperwork. So the contract itself, it says he was released at the end of last year. But when they filed his contract initially with the EFL, they put the wrong season on it, and so they put one extra season. So it looks like he's no. They amicably worked it out.
Yeah. They had a little payoff. But
He had to get some money. Like, come on.
you would have thought,
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a full-on season's worth, but he would have had something, yeah.
If I was Tunnicliffe, I would be like, look, technically I'm on the team, so anything I say on this documentary, you got to follow me still.
I need a medal. Where's my medal?
Yeah, get the man another promotion medal. Like, get him.
Tunnicliffe is the when he got hurt, when he got kicked in the face. Do you remember? It's like nationally, he got kicked in the face. He ran off pitch into the changing room, got stitches, and came back with Coban. Yep. And that's the first time I realized, like, I was like, oh, this is more dangerous than, like, American football and, like, normal. I just realized it was more dangerous than,
Who was that first? Was that Dorking?
I don't know.
For the people playing at home?
I don't remember. But I loved it. Tunnicliffe ran off. And then Leighton was like, oh, I think my knee hurts. Oh, I better sit down.
Yeah.
Oh, could I have... And then, so they did this whole rigmarole. And then he was like, it's my favorite gif. It's him, like, face down, like, laying on his stomach on the pitch. And then he's like, So
but like, karma got him so hard because he didn't realize that he was made of glass. And so he's like, I'm just kidding. He's like, I'm just...
Have you heard that, though? That when somebody, instead of being made of glass, they're made of biscuits?
It just sounds delicious.
They crumble apart.
I wished I was made of biscuits.
I know, like crumble Leighton right in my mouth.
Chocolate chip or what sort of biscuit? Anzac
I mean, it sounds great. Like, I've been accused of worse things every day. You're made of biscuits. Well, a fine day to you too, sir. Yeah. So Tunnicliffe, he's just...
Yeah, he's gone.
Technically, he's a part of the team, but he's not...
Yeah. Well, this leads me to my little trivia question I have.
Okay.
So, who on the team has back-to-back-to-back promotions? Name the players that have been on the team for all
Can I start
promotions.
with the longest people that have been with the team? Well, Max Clueth is Academy, so he's going to be the longest with the team. Probably he's been 4.5 years with the club, probably, somewhere around there. Then it's going to be Paul Mullen, right? He's the next one that's been with the club. And then after Paul Mullen, they signed a couple of people before Palmer.
That's correct.
So maybe Mark Howard was there before Palmer. And and then there's got to be one more before Palmer, because I remember there's like 2 transfers that.
So you're saying Palmer though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Palmer was there, and in 2022 we got Mindy, Lee, in 2022.
Yep.
Andy Cannon.
Oh,
Yep.
Andy Cannon. Andy Cannon's the one that was before Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one.
And then-
Mark Howard, Andy Cannon, Palmer.
There's
right?
and amazingly, there's still 3 more.
Okay, wait. 3 more. McLean? Was he? No. McLean's 2023. Oh, is it Dalby who's still out on loan?
Nope.
Because, like, isn't he still technically a part of the team? Didn't he come in
Yeah.
2022?
Yeah.
He came in 2022, right?
Yeah, but
And he-
this year doesn't count because he's been on loan all year. So he
Okay,
isn't.
but he's still part of the team. He's still part of the
No,
team.
he's not. He's not registered in the squad.
Didn't
For
he-
the
didn't he
sake of
play for
this
us?
trivia
he
question, there are
played
no
for us this
loopholes.
year.
The answer is no. You have 3 more people.
I thought Dalby had played for us because we couldn't trade him anywhere else because he was tied up.
Tom
to
O'Connor?
2.
Yep, O's.
Oh, that's a good one.
No, Will Boyle's gone. Goodbye, Will. Was Owen O'Connell in
Yep.
that round?
O'Connor, the O's. One more. We were just talking about him.
What do we got?
Barney.
Oh, Barney.
Yes.
Yeah, Barney. Yeah.
Barney. So Barney, Cannon, Clearworth, Howard, Lee, Mendy, Mullen, O'Connor, and Palmer.
See, don't ask me about the last 2 months. Just ask me.
For way back. Okay,
5 years
so
ago,
now,
5 years
but then now, who on top of that, who only has back-to-back? So who has this year and last year promotions?
McLean.
There
Yeah,
are 1,
McLean.
2, 3,
McLean,
4, 5.
Okonkwo.
McLean, Okonkwo.
Yeah, give us names, SJ.
Yeah.
There's 8. There's 8 people. So
Yeah, go through the list. Go through the list.
okay, Okonkwo.
That's like-
McNicholas.
Yeah.
technically,
That's like most of the team.
McLean, Marriott, Fletcher, Evans, Bolton, and Boyle.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, but I was like, so follow-up question, who in our 10 people we named of the back-to-back-to-back, who do you think that will possibly go into another two-back fight next season?
Clueth is staying with the team.
Max.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clueth
Yeah.
is staying with the team.
Barney?
Possible.
I think Barney will stay. If nothing else, he'll be. It seems
I don't think-
Parkey seems to have a kind of trickle of first team subs. Not
Yeah, I don't
like,
think Barney's going
on
anywhere.
the squad, and then people who aren't even registered that linger around.
Yeah.
So
Mindy's gone.
yeah, he
Mindy's
deserves
gone.
to play. He's so fun.
Paul Mullen's gone. Palmer's gone.
I don't know
I
about
think-
Mullen gone.
I don't
think so?
He may. I'm not.
He
gonna-
deserves to play. It would
Yes.
be
Yeah.
it would be so messed up to keep him on the team and just keep him on the bench. Do you see
No,
how
but-
fired up he
He-
gets?
I
He might
think
wanna
what'll
stay.
happen is because the kind of narrative that has rolled out, right? He got punctured lungs and then spine surgery, so he had 2 off seasons that he couldn't, get fit. And then, so the first time the punctured lung, he came back for the very end of the season, but this time he didn't really get his rhythm. I feel like because of those circumstances, he'll get a little bit of a pass going into next season. I think if he wants to to stay, because he's still under contract, if he wants to stay, I think that Parkey will, because Parkey has was it 40 who wasn't even registered in the squad last year? Parkey seems to have that kind of layers. I can imagine if Mullen is okay with it, he can definitely. I mean, that's what's going on
That
now,
man
right?
wants to play though. That man wants to play some.
But
In which case he may
Parkey
get
gives
loaned.
people a chance to get back
Yeah.
on side.
If he stays on, loaned out.
Yeah.
Because there's
He mu-
you can't sit him on the bench another season.
He may want to.
But-
though. He may want to prove himself in the championship.
that's what I'm wondering, because if he goes anywhere else, so when he came to us, the like conversation was, well, he's a League Two player, and it's like, well, he's a League One player, but he didn't play in League One because they got promoted from League Two to League One, so for some reason it didn't count. And so when he signed for Wrexham, then it was like, oh, well, you're never gonna go like this high. So I think he has a point to prove to like be able to play competitively in the championship.
Have you noticed this season that the pace of players has moved up, and the players that had technical skill but not pace have fallen off, and it's only faster in championship.
Yeah,
Mullen does not.
Pace, though.
He does not have fast pace.
I
No,
think he has pace.
No, he does not. He in National League.
He's faster than I am.
Well, yeah, in National League he did, but the quality of pace has improved at each level, and in Championship it's just going to be higher. Like it's going to be hard.
I wouldn't write him off. I mean, I'd be surprised if he was there, but I wouldn't write off the possibility.
We have to have. I mean, this sounds really dismissive, but we got to have somebody to play in the trophies and the cups and the competitions and all that.
Not so
when
much
the
anymore.
first team, but when the first team needs a rest for those off, when the like fixtures get, Bill.
But we're not in the trophy. We don't join the FA Cup until the third round. And if we are in the trophy, it's going to be under 21s, which we don't really have. So we drop a couple of matches, because we're not playing in the AFL Trophy anymore.
But we could magically make a training ground over the next couple of months, and then build up a full-fledged under 21 team. That could magically happen over the summer.
If all of our under 18s just progress. The under 18s did great this year. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that at all. Simon and I went to their FA Cup. In at the race course.
Nice.
In October. Yeah.
How was it?
It was good. So it was really good. They played. You could see the fitness difference between the two teams. I don't remember who the other team was. It started with an M. But you could tell because I don't know. Yeah, but by the end of the 90 minutes, their players were like cramping, like sitting down. They'd already made their subs and stuff. So then these players are just like sitting down in the pitch, like, oh, I can't do anything. But it was tied, and they changed the FA Cup rules that you don't have replays. So the unders have the same rule change. So what they do is you have two 45-minute halves, and then you draw. So then you have a 5-minute break half, and then you have two more 15-minute halves with a 5-minute break. And then if you still are draw, then you do penalty kicks. So they and it's Simon, I don't know if you know that I think in that added time, the extra 15 minutes for each side, I think whoever scores, then that's it. No? Do you go the full 30? Okay. Well, anyways, when we were watching the match,
and then it moves to target time.
Yeah. No, but when we were watching, they were like the Wrexham kids, men, boys, whatever. The Wrexham lads were like, you could tell their fitness level. They were still going. They looked tired, but the other team was like literally falling apart. So I still can see it in my mind. It was in front of the tech end, and it was in the 119th minute. So it was like super, they'd already had the 90 minutes plus the added 15. And then, And then the kid, I can't remember who it was, the kid who got the goal, I'm pretty sure it was the header too. The kid that got the goal, he was like, yeah, and ready, but then he ran to the corner between the Tech Inn and Mold Road. There's nobody over there. The lights aren't even on over there. And he was like, and did his little slide and everything. And then people are like, where'd you go? And he's like, I didn't know where to go. I was so excited. I just ran over there. So
how dare you? The
Anyway.
ghost of his ex-girlfriend was in the corner. And he went to go celebrate with his love lost, and all of you shamed him. For
I
shame.
thought you were gonna say like McLean and the away fans. He's all, fuck you. No,
That's chef's kiss.
So anyways, if our under 18s become under 21s, you know,
Which
that'd
they
be cool.
should.
I mean,
Within 3
Normally,
years.
eventually. We've got
So we went back to back to back to back. That's never been done.
3. Yeah.
Back to back to back.
Yeah.
And then, so we're in uncharted territory, like coming
Yeah.
in. At what point do I get to become the fool, annoying, arrogant, asshole, son of a bitch American fan who just talks shit all fucking day for no reason and doesn't care? Which is that in the championship, or do we have to get promoted into Premier League?
You did start a whole podcast, so
I was like, teach me. Now I'm like, look, motherfuckers.
yeah.
You gonna
Well, now
learn
we've got a
today.
whole-
Yeah.
We've got a whole new
Birmingham-
league and new teams, and
Yeah.
Birmingham won't be able to break our 111 point record.
No, not
No,
with those
they-
knees.
Because they were, when they had 6 matches to go, they could have gone to 118.
Oh shit.
115.
That was on the cards, huh?
Yeah. But they lost and drew, and now I think they can only get 107, 108.
111. They can still get 111.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because they have 3 matches. Or did they play? They
2 more
played
matches.
one.
They got
Okay.
2 left.
They
got 2
played
left,
one
they're on
yesterday.
105.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yeah, they can't beat. They can only tie. So we're still better
Yeah.
in my mind.
Oh, we did it first anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah. This
even
is just
if
a
they
shitty
do
remake.
it, they'll
Copycats.
be first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes it when somebody does it the second time. Like, get your own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know, totally. Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, we got
unoriginal
111.
billionaires.
Oh, Wrexham did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so the inevitable question is, okay, who do we lose? And then also, is this the quote unquote consolidation year? Like, does this happen where each time we're like, oh, well, we're going up to League 2. That's going to be a little tough. We're going to have to consolidate, and maybe we'll be there for a few years.
I'm going to say the same thing I said last year or whatever. These
Every
guys,
year.
yeah. No, they're going to play to win every match. They're not like, the mentality of the players isn't going to be like, we should take it easy today and it's okay if we lose today. And right. Yeah. Like every match, they're going to try their best. Every match they're going to,
people don't make it to this level without that grit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But your opposition have that too.
Yeah.
Yes,
So-
but the opposition, you would assume, has that in League 1 and League 2, and
But we had better players than
Yeah,
most
and
of
they
the
didn't have
opposition for
Parky,
the last 3 years.
you know.
So, and they don't have Parky. Yeah. It's gonna be tough. I mean, we're playing.
Yes, and I'm
teams
not
that will
saying that. I'm not saying
Premier
we have
League
less
parachute
or
payments.
more motivation than other players, but I also am like, it. When you talk about consolidation, it makes it sound like a plan. Like we're gonna plan to just win this many, or we're gonna plan to be mid-table.
You don't plan for that, but you don't plan to bring in 15 new players. If we're going to bring in 15 new players, each of them on a $5 million transfer fee, then maybe we can talk about promotion. But if we're not doing that, then you're looking at consolidation.
Yeah, and you definitely do plan for consolidation. If you didn't, my creditors would be owning a lot more of me.
Well, you plan on not going back down, but whether we plan on actually going up, if we go, say
I
we
think
spend a shed load of money in the off season, then maybe.
I think there's 2 sides to the conversation of consolidation. Like you have like the players, they're going to play to win every week. That always. So they're not trying to consolidate. I don't think the players are going to try to be like, we could play mediocre and have mid-table. But how many people come in, like the management side of it, may look at consolidation and say, well, we're only going to budget for this much because training ground and whatever and hoo-ha, right? So there may be like the management financial situation.
I don't know. I
may
think
be
Rob
more
and Ryan
consolidation.
are hooked.
I think so.
Like
too.
this,
I don't think
this
we're
feeling
financially
like they're addicts now. Like
Oh yeah.
they're gonna try to get some big players.
On the pitch, Rob was like, "Not done yet." Right?
Yeah.
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 I mean, they're So
Yeah, you gave them like what 4 years of fire, and they're not going to want to keep like stoking those flames and go forward. Like I think like if it was maybe other owners with not as big ambitions as Rob and Ryan, you like he said it. He said, still holding like Premier League. That's the goal.
Yeah.
To get to
Yeah.
Premier League. Like we might see some awesome players that like we actually know their names. Not that people wouldn't have known the other names, but like
you
say
mean new players?
yeah, like players that we get like on.
I don't know anybody else's name.
But if you're like in the U.S. and you would typically just watch like Premier League and Championship League, and then it's like so you'll know some players that came over to like MLS and stuff like that. But when it was down in National League, like some of the players, that was the first time I was hearing of their names. Like I'd never heard of Ollie Palmer before.
Yeah.
Never heard of Paul Mullen before.
Sure.
And it's like so now we're getting closer to where it's like household names that people would know.
Or teams that play on international teams. Like,
Yeah.
So then their
Oh,
exposure is wider.
We get international breaks next year.
But
I know.
finally.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for us? An international break?
A week off. You get a week off when the World Cup qualifiers or the Euros are on or something.
Yeah, I think it's
we were
twice.
playing, unless you had the 3 players who were called up for their country, you had to play. But now it doesn't matter if we have players called
And
up
it was
or not. We are
optional.
not playing.
You could have 3 people called up, and it was optional whether you wanted to still play or not. So
Don't play.
yeah,
No,
I
you're
mean
not.
that would make sense for most part. But I do remember one of the teams in I think it was League 2 didn't want to cancel their match. So again, because it was like a high stakes match or whatever. So very generic comment. But anyways, I don't know. There are players that I definitely see like Jordan Davies. I don't think him and Dalby. I hope Dalby signs for the Rangers and gets to stay there. And like he was the striker of the season on their team of the season and stuff up in Scotland. They love him.
When I
love him
still
too, but...
had Twitter X before I deleted that bitch, I would like follow the team so I could see the updates of Dalby. And each time it's like that thing runs through your head. It's like he scores 2 goals in a game, and you're like, and he wasn't good enough for us. God damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about like the summer break? Our colleague here was saying something about a rumor of Wrexham maybe going down under. How's that rumor? Is it getting any more legs or
building? Yeah. Wrexham haven't announced it. Victoria haven't officially announced it, but
wasn't it on the news?
The government leaked it. Yeah, it was on. There's been a news report, but that's from a leak. There's been no official announcement, so it's come from a leak. But there's a date and there's a venue, so we're paying for them to come out. It just depends. There's going to be another couple of states and possibly New Zealand chip in as well and get a match. So it's just going to work out.
There's another reason I think they're going too, is the ladies are going to play in a 7-a-side tournament in Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
I was like, yeah, so they're already on that like
it's in Hong
side
Kong.
of the world. Yeah, Hong
Kong.
Kong.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hong Kong sevens.
Yeah.
There's been no word on the ladies coming at all, so that may or may not. I would have thought not, but who knows?
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah,
I mean,
so,
even in the U.S., they traveled to different cities and played matches separate from the men.
Yeah, but they also linked up together for different events. I think they would bring the ladies to where the guys are, but
it would be nice. That'd be nice.
Maybe the guys will play somewhere up there.
If the economy wasn't what it was, reflecting my bank account, then I definitely would hop on a plane so I could go see Simon in Wrexham down under. That would
Bestest-
be amazing.
Bestest little sister invited everyone who is a Wrexham fan in the Western Hemisphere to stay at her house. No, she invited our little askWxm group. She said that
That's
anybody
cool.
who comes can stay there.
That's very cool.
It's very sweet.
They're totally different dates. May I got 16 to 18 May 2025 for the soccer
For the women?
Yeah. Is the dates I'm seeing. So I don't think they're going to be coming
In
to
May?
Australia.
That seems
Yeah,
really
yeah.
soon. Yeah. But both the men and the women are playing in TST again. And that's in July, I'm pretty
That'll
sure.
be even, and maybe Howard and maybe Ashfield, but you won't see anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
There.
It'd be cool if they brought Mullen. What? That would be cool. That would be so cool.
I
Okay.
mean, like Trundle and Morel played. I know that they're actually retired, but doesn't Trundle play somewhere still?
Yeah.
But anyway,
He plays in the Welsh League, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I forgot what team, but he's out there just still, tractor trailer running over like 18-year-old
Shrewsbury?
boys with, 120 pounds soaking wet. Like he's just that man is more
he
broad.
plays in Shrewsbury.
Oh God, no, he does not. Get out of here.
Tractors. Do you hear they had to cancel they were like, we're canceling the coach for the one like away fan coach for Shrewsbury because there wasn't enough people on the coach. They were like, there's not enough fans for us to justify taking the coach to this other. Yeah.
That's the other
My
thing is
theory
they're
was they were
definitely
having
going down.
My
And of
theory
course,
was they were having a tractor parade.
Yeah, tractor pull Cardiff as well. We swapped places with Cardiff.
I really don't have any ill feelings towards Shrewsbury. Like I don't have that
It's
lure.
so
Like
fun.
it doesn't, but it doesn't stop me from like laughing when I see somebody get kicked in the nuts. Like it's still funny. It's still hilarious. It's still hilarious, and it's like one of the things. American fans watching over here, if you want to get in the good graces of a local, just start shit talking the tractor boys. That's the lesson number one.
I grew up on a farm, so I'm like, I can
And
tell
tractor
these.
girls.
Yeah,
Shit
I
talk
can
them.
tell, but I can tell these jokes because I grew up on a farm, so I can shit all over them and their bad tractors because I know what I'm talking about.
Is that the qualifying? I know what it's like to be inbred. Not you.
You're
Not you.
I was like,
Like
you're
we're
not
talking
supposed to
about.
tell people how many toes I have.
That's a gamble.
That's
It could be more or it could be less. You never tell. You can never tell.
Yeah, they're webbed.
You guys ever meet the last Ninja Turtle that they never revealed?
Like
The
Beatles.
Yeah, it was like Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael, and Shrewsbury. the last turtle with webbed feet.
It's the one with two heads.
Well, sadly, they're in
Shrewsbury.
damn last place, and they're going down. I'm yelling timber. Yeah, those. No love lost. They did do the unthinkable and scored against us, made us cry. Which was like we should have never gave them that. That's some bullshit.
There
That's
was
some
a lot
tomfoolery.
of criticism about the players not seeming like they had any skin in the game. As like they didn't seem like they were motivated to. Okay, of course they wanted to win, but you see somebody in like the last match. I'm like, oh, they're going 100 miles an hour, and then sometimes there's the match where you're like, please run after the ball.
It was also a different team. It was not the same team that we finished the season with.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like you get like different like
Fletcher
levels
and
of
Lee
performance.
Fletcher and Lee.
Fletcher
Yeah.
and Lee started in that loss.
Yep. Old 7 goals Lee? Is that what he's sitting at? 7
Yeah.
goals?
Did he get up to 8?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's 7 because Rathbone I think is 9.
9.
Fletcher is 8, and then Max is 8, and then I think Lee and Marriott is somewhere around there. That's my guess. I'm saying those are facts. That's how the world works now, right?
Old Sam Smith, what, 16?
Not all for us, but yeah, geez, yeah.
Yeah. It's not bad.
No, he doesn't have 16 goals, does he? Not really.
Not for us, though.
Yeah. Like,
you got 12 for Reading. Though.
like total.
Okay, no.
Total.
I meant just for us.
Oh,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for us? I play for keeps. They're all ours now. We bought them. We bought the
Well-
goals retroactively.
While we're kind of sort of talking about Barney,
I was.
yeah.
I was like, you ever seen a man do the Irish jig with a soccer ball?
So Barney has the most assists for the league. Even
9.
So he has 39 matches played with 31 starts, and he has 9 assists, 2 goals.
He's been
But
sitting on those for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Well, he
slowed
got
down.
another one. His last match that he started, he got a goal, an assist for a goal.
And he
My
got
alarm.
he and Max got into the EFL League One team of the year.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right.
They look so hungover in their official picture. They had their little things. They were like,
Oh, they weren't hungover. They were still pissed. They were still drunk
Maybe.
the night after.
I mean-
They weren't hungover.
yeah.
That
There was not
a little
enough time for
later.
hungover yet.
No.
Yeah.
I still hammered. So,
Yeah, they were smashed. Right?
smash
like-
mouth pumpkin.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Oh,
Oh no, we lost SJ.
Shoot.
I can't see her photo anymore.
I don't know what's
She's
going
gone.
on.
Do we just keep on pretending like she's not there? Or do we- Promotion! Oh, shout out to ADHD Switch the Combo, but shout out to Bill Long in the chat on WhatsApp. He started the call
yeah.
before the match was over. We got to all be on that video call together.
And then he wasn't in it. And then
he wasn't in it. He was
Bill on it.
He was just celebrating. But we got Neil Williams on the sidelines and got to.
I know, it was so
man, that was
cool.
so good.
That was
It
so
was
good.
so weird too because everybody's stream was kind of different, like
yeah.
legs,
Right.
and then Neil was like, "Yeah," and
Way
everybody's
before,
like
yeah.
watching the match. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
trying to get
wanted
the
to
other
share
people
the
to
picture,
mute.
but I didn't ask everybody.
Yeah. I wanted to share the enthusiasm that we all shared together, which was great because
Yeah,
it was
it was-
so good to hear it, and then you knew what was coming. He's like, "What a save!" And we're like, "Oh!"
And he was so excited,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah.
like. Yeah, like when somebody's trying to show you something, he's so excited. I was like, I can't tell what you're.
No,
Yeah.
that's just how an
So-
old man operates a cellular device.
Hey,
my
now,
friend.
don't be ageist.
I'm sorry. No, look, I'm calling a pig farmer a pig farmer.
We need
Oh,
new
I already got one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna make the one that is where the players. I'm gonna steal it from the club again.
If Neil Williams happens to watch this, which he doesn't, but if
I
he
know. I
did,
was like, I mean,
no, that was so awesome. And then it was like,
so
man, like you forget on the halftime, you'll hear his voice sometimes, but sometimes you just forget. You're like, oh man, I love listening to the
Yeah.
old crew. I absolutely love Mia, adore Mia. Andy Morrell, I've never got to meet, so I don't know yet if I love him the same way. But but Bill and Che and Neil and Mark and Andy Parkinson and
Yeah.
like just getting those voices. It's just like there's that nostalgia crack cocaine hit that
Totally.
it does. Yeah, that sensory. Oh man, it's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, they were the introduction to many, if not most of us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and before
I
the
wouldn't be a
video, you
Wrexham
just
fan
had the-
without him.
We only had audio feed, and
Yep.
they were it, So
Yeah. I mean, I would not know. When I met Tozer, I was like, part of the reason why I like Tozer so much is because he was obvious to identify who he was and his long throws. And I had
Over the radio.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, over the radio. Yeah, no, I had so much trouble figuring out why it was a goal kick or a corner or a throw in. Like
what the rules were. Yeah.
Yeah, I legitimately, that's how little I knew coming into football. I'm like, how come sometimes this and sometimes that? And then somebody explained it to me. I understood offsides first. But anyways, with Tozer, I could identify the play. But if it wasn't for Mark saying like, oh, here's Tozer with the long throw, and then me being able to like put those things together, that I would be like, oh, that's a cool show. I tried to watch. I don't know what's going on. If it wasn't for them, I would not have a sustained interest.
I wonder if there's anything like them, like for any other club or anything, because this like humble group of people that when, you know, the cameras, the Hollywood cameras and stuff were there, they were dedicating their time volunteering for free, dedicating their time to, even when the camera showed up, they were still volunteering their time to give fans like a window into the experience. And they did it with all the passion. Like that's what mainly hooked. Like I think all three of us, what hooked us was like the passion that they showed, the community that they showed and that they presented for us, and then just took us under their wings.
That's how we met too, right? That is through askWxm is the thing that brought the three of us together. The askWxm community is like, it's wonderful.
It's amazing.
So yeah. So it was super cool to see Neil like so excited on the side of the pitch.
Oh yeah. And you've just like, you've got to imagine that he went home that night and delivered 10 more piglets and just bathed in the glory of a promotion win.
Yeah.
No, great guys. And like Bill and Che, along for the like man in the stands approach that they would give to it, and just amazing.
Well, and they're fun buddies just hanging out.
There's going to be fans that come on that might become diehard fans like as well. Like that's just the numbers game. That's going to happen as the team gets bigger and bigger. But you definitely, it's like there's the people, the locals that have been the diehard fans for years. And as it gets bigger, I don't know if their voices will be heard as much as we heard those at the beginning when we came on.
Yeah. While we're still talking about the commentary team, Mia Roberts, friend of the pod, her team won her league. And I don't know what she that is. But
you know how to say her name. You love this.
Is it Clendidno? Oh, it's Clendidno.
She was a big emphasis of why I changed my Twitter name to Randidno.
Oh yeah. I just remember they have the shirts. Their kits are black, like and white striped.
Mia. Oh, you said who got back-to-back promotions? Mia got back-to-back promotions.
Yeah.
So Mia got promoted again with Clondidno to the Adran Premier League this past season. So she's winner through and through.
Yeah, for sure. She's awesome. We should have her back on the pod sometime.
Or not to the Premier League, to the Adran.
North,
is it the Adran?
South or
North.
Adran.
North.
She's in North right now.
Yeah.
And then they have the North-South. So you can win your league, but to get into the championship or the Premier League with like where Wrexham and Cardiff are, the North and South play each other, and then only one team goes up. So you can win your league and still not get promotion.
Can't believe they're still trying to do those Civil War antics. Like, stop pitting us against each other. The North versus the South. Jeez.
Yeah.
But we are going to see some Southern North versus South matches next season in the Championship League.
I know.
Welsh Derby coming up.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
With everything that we've dipped our hands into, and I'm sorry, like people at home, if you don't have ADHD like I do, this was probably mayhem. For me, I felt at home. But going, I guess, to wrap up the season and wrap up this podcast for today, let's just, for shits and giggles, next year position that Wrexham will finish in the Championship League.
Before we even know, I don't even know any of the
We don't know
teams.
nothing. This is all hubris.
We know Birmingham.
Well, yeah, Birmingham.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, because of how you're talking about, like, people kind of know the Premier League. I know somebody that's a Arsenal fan, and then with like Men in Blazers, you know, some of the Premier League names get thrown out there. But like, I could not tell you who is in.
Well, we get the better Bristol unless they go up through the playoffs. So Bristol City are in there. Sheffield United and Sunderland are both in there.
Oh, what about Sheffield Wednesday?
You remember those Blades?
Well, United
remember those
gives
Blades?
United gives you, or Sheffield United gives you Hillsborough, which is a name you may or may not have heard of, and if you haven't, look it up. You should have heard of it.
Remember the Hillsborough disaster where the stadium burned down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No. Hillsborough disaster was the crush.
Stampede?
Wasn't a fire. Stampede, yeah.
Yep.
Sunderland are in there unless they get promoted through the playoffs as well. So he started off, Rob started off watching Sunderland until I die. Sheffield Wednesday are in there, and they'll definitely still be staying.
Our FA
QPR,
Cup.
Queen's Park are in there. Portsmouth, Stoke. It's big. Blackburn.
There's all these words that I know what the words are, and I have no idea what the teams are.
And West Bromwich Albion are in there. There are some big teams in there, some ex-Premier League teams, some ex-Premier League champions in there.
So I'm going to say 12th.
12th place.
Yes.
I'll be optimistic. 8th.
Ooh.
What did you say?
8.
8th? Yeah, I
Just
just,
outside the
I
playoffs.
don't know. Because if we're in playoffs or promotion, right, you're playing against teams that are cycling through the Premier League constantly. So I would imagine that we don't get into that section of the league, but I don't think we'll be fighting relegation. So I'm going to say middle is,
Middle. A playoff spot, maybe. 8th.
That'd be 7.
8th.
3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the playoffs.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Okay, so 2 auto and 1 one playoff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof. Okay, so then I'm going to be the guy that says playoff run at least
You're
6.
going to say 7th,
At least 6.
6th.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's going to be insane when we sign Mo Salah. It's just the world is going to be turned upside down. They're like, he would have never left. But he did for us.
Yeah. Well, God, now I can't remember who it was. Was it Jay Rodriguez? So anyway, one of the players, or was it Sam Smith, was asked, like, well, when you were first approached and how'd you hear about, and was like, oh yeah, I heard a rumor, or how it happens, that they're like, my contract's up and they're not going to resign and blah 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 or whatever. And he was like, so I asked my agent, find out about Wrexham. So I think there's going to be players that are now gonna kind of think of like, oh well, if I want to start a clothing brand, or I want to increase my personal brand of some sort, I think there's benefit. Some people just want to be famous,
Yeah,
and
but
athletes.
they're not the ones you want, are they? I wouldn't have thought they're the ones you want. People who want to be famous as a byproduct, maybe, but if that's your sole reason, they won't pass.
There's a Plonker test.
What it does
Exactly.
open up is the loan market, because now people like Man U and whatnot won't mind.
I think that, Palmer, right? Everybody says that he likes a lot of attention and takes his shirt off and has a clothing brand. But that's what I'm saying. I think that there's probably
like a strainer doesn't
And
catch
he's
them
not
all.
playing, and he's not playing.
Yeah. Like, so what? He's a plonker,
not
but
this
he
year.
was our plonker.
He was our plonker, yeah.
But for
he's
like
not
2
playing.
years he played.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, but for
he did a
year,
great job.
Yeah. But I
But
think
my
we're certainly
underlying
outgrowing
point
him.
is, I think that we will have there will be players that are like, I'm not going to Wrexham. They don't have training, whatever, and they have this, and they don't have, this quality. But there's other people who are going to be drawn to coming because of the circus.
Or even the location, as Mullen was. There's going to be a lot who want to come here just because of where they are. Because it's so close to Liverpool, so close to Manchester. If you're not playing for
might
them,
be close to home.
play for us and stay
All the players that are born in Conway.
That's what we offer. More than just the circus is the location.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I said one last question to wrap it up, but one last question. I have a player that I think if we got promoted again to the Premier League that definitely can stay on and go. Like, I think there's one solid player that I would put money on it. And there's a couple more players that I would be fine putting lower money on, but still putting money on. Do you guys have any players? Like, there's,
Well,
I
have a
have my
question.
one,
Are you
and the other
counting-
one I would still put up money on. I think
Are you
me and
counting
Simon are
Sam
thinking the same
Smith?
way.
Because I think that's
Yeah.
really obvious of, like, Sam Smith got signed to go. But,
No,
I was
Max and Arthur.
Max and Arthur.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I was like, are
Everyone
you going to
else
include
is-
Sam Smith? That's really obvious. I think, Max and Arthur, for sure.
I haven't seen enough of Sam Smith to know if he would be, because he was playing at Reading. It wasn't like he was like it wasn't
he
like
hasn't been in the
Right.
He hasn't played in the championship.
I mean, but as much money as we spent on him, I can't imagine them being like, yeah, thanks for your time.
No, they're not going to get. He's still got another year or 2 years on his contract, but he hasn't played in the championship before. He hasn't been out of League One before, so he's got something
I mean,
to prove,
Max
and he may
hasn't
or
either.
may not be able to do it. So,
Max
we
is a
signed him
different
for
breed.
$2 million to get us promoted, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And Arthur, I mean, oh my God, what did they say? He had the best save rate in League Two, the best save rate in League One. Like, is he going to have the best save rate in Championship? Like, what is that man's ceiling?
I have his numbers. This is one of the things that I pulled up because me and I like the stats. So Okonkwo has 23 clean sheets. No, he does not have 23 clean sheets. He has 18 clean sheets. And then the second guy has 19, but Okonkwo has played 32 matches, and the other guy's played 35. So the percentage of clean sheets,
Stroke
Okonkwo's
off,
on
other guy.
56.3. Over half of Okonkwo's matches, he's got clean sheets.
He's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's amazing. I like him.
Your buddy who was like, Okonkwo who? Oh, he's going to know that name. He's going to know the name. He'll have to put some respect next time.
I know. I'm going to turn him from an Arsenal fan yet.
That could be hard. But maybe he'll know Arthur Okonkwo's name. Oh, man. It was so good talking to you guys. This was amazing. Chicken noodle soup for the soul. Just so good to get to speak with you guys. I know we spoke, last week? Did we speak? Or... Yeah, last week.
We had a chat, yeah.
Yeah. And, miss you guys so much. Hopefully we can do this through the summer.
Yes!
Yes? Oh, I got a little mug. I have a tiny mug. I don't have big mug.
Big mug, big fan.
It's what you do with it that counts, Ran.
Well, they used to call me...
Mrs. Ran. Happy birthday to Mrs. Ran.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday tomorrow, Anna. But when this gets released, happy birthday 2 days ago, Anna.
Well, I might just put it out without edits. Just be like, here you go.
There you go. Well, you guys take care. I will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Miss you. And so good to talk again.
Take care, mate. Good to see you.
Up the town!
Up the town!
Up the town.
Yes.
3 ups.